Hey everybody, it is BigSmit19 Gaming coming at you with a long-awaited update for the King Kong mod I have called Something Monstrous. You can follow it on the Discord channel. I'm sure most of you have already followed it, but if you haven't, go check it out. I'll leave a link below. This is going to be an update, a long-awaited one for all you awesome supporters out there. You've been waiting for this for a long time. I think the first update I posted was around a year ago. A year, that's a long time, but as you guys know, we've been working on this on a weekly basis, and we've been getting some parts done here, some parts done there, but as you know, life takes over. So this is going to be kind of getting back into it, for lack of a better word. We never really got out of it, but we're going to get back into it with a YouTube series. As I promised you guys, this is going to be called the Something Monstrous Mod Build Series, where you can actually check in on all the progress of the mod being done in real time on YouTube. Now, some of these clips will come from my Twitch stream that I do on a weekly basis. Some of them will come from actual videos like this one that I'm doing that are actual updates. So all of these are going to be labeled 1 through whatever number I end up getting to, much like the actual Skull Island build series. As you guys know, the Skull Island build series is already up. I'll also leave a link down below to that where you can watch all of Skull Island being made in 1:1 scale, as it were, in the first version of the map. But what we're going for now is an update on the Something Monstrous mod, which will add all the creatures of Skull Island, which will add new blocks to Skull Island, which will add a new game mode, etc, etc, etc. I've updated a lot of stuff already, and in this video I'm going to be showcasing what I've done in this past year. It may not seem like a lot to some people because there's not a finished product, but keep in mind life gets in the way sometimes, and keep in mind we're not giving up on this. This is still going strong. Let's get into this, okay? We're going to get into this, and I'm going to showcase everything that's been done with this mod so far, and this will be update 1 of the Something Monstrous mod. Let's get it, chat. Okay guys, so if you look at the screen right now, you should see the Something Monstrous home screen for the actual resource pack in the mod. Now, this is just a temporary one because, as you guys know, I will be making certain custom blocks. I will be making custom spikes that are actually angled like you see in the film, that have fish on them, that have bones of the Skull Island villagers on them, etc, etc. I might even make more detailed skulls. That's right. But this is just something that will give you kind of a visual representation of what we are going to be looking for as an end product. You know what I mean? So this is it actually imported into Minecraft. This is how my resource pack looks. This is the one I use currently, but it still is requiring a lot of tweaking. So for the actual resource pack in the mod, I'm also planning to do a custom user interface as well that will actually go off of the style and kind of visual style, rather, of the film King Kong 2005 from Peter Jackson. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to probably do something like a map, like the actual map of Skull Island, or something to do with the colors of maybe the Venture, or an old tattered piece of parchment or something, you know what I mean? Something in the style of Kong that will match the gameplay better, give you guys a better gameplay experience when you actually play this. So I briefly touched on it already, but I am planning on doing custom blocks for this actual resource pack. So some of them will include just textures of random blocks already, such as like stone bricks, mossy cobblestone, etc. Just existing blocks in Minecraft that I will have to retexture to better fit the world of King Kong. Now, I have been using the Excalibur texture pack. If you want to go check that out, it's called Excalibur. You can download it wherever you do, Modrinth, whatever. And essentially, it has a lot of medieval textures to it, but it looks really good for King Kong. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my starting point, and I'm kind of tweaking it from there and going off of that. But yes, custom blocks will be added. Custom mob skins will be added. So certain mobs that I feel fit that would represent the actual Skull Island villagers, such as the pillagers. Those would be actually quite great because they're already target, like they're already in the Minecraft code to like target you. Like even if I just reskin them, gave them different weapons, etc., etc., I could also create my own Skull Island villagers, but that's also another entity, and I would want to have more than one of them. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to just have one variation of Skull Island villager. I would want to have probably at least 5 minimum. You know what I'm saying? So we will have to see, but there will be Skull Island villagers that actually attack you with bows and arrows and actual spears in this mod, much like you see in the actual King Kong official game of the movie that was released, I'm pretty sure, on like every console pre Xbox One, I want to say. Next, we move on to the creature planning aspect of this actual mod. So these are the actual creatures that will be put into the game. They're coming across the screen right now. These are dossier kind of creature planning folders I made that have just a bit of like visuals, a bit of description about the actual creature, possibly an in-movie shot of the actual creature. But all of these will have to be made in a program called Blockbench, which I've already started, and I will start to show you right after we go through the dossiers here. But every one of these animals / insects / disgusting creatures was seen in the movie. So I'm not going to do anything that wasn't seen in the movie, and there are certain animals that I'm not doing that were in the movie, just because they're so small. For example, there's like this mosquito type bug, and I think it's called a moon spider, but they're quite small, so I really don't see them fitting in the world of Minecraft. Like, yeah, they could just be kind of ambience for the world, but at the same time, they're not really going to serve a purpose. You want these animals to be a threat in the actual Minecraft world where, oh, I do not want to run into this thing. It's an actual problem if I run into this thing. You don't want it to be like, oh, there's a mosquito. Okay, whatever. So I'm just going to let these play. Feel free to pause them and look at some more details if you want. These are all also uploaded on my Discord channel, the Something Monstrous. Again, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's in the description. Free to join. Just keep up to date on stuff and just show your support there. And you can see all of these there at your own time. You can see the progress, everything. You can see my Twitch schedule where I stream and actually build this in real time for you. You can see that and tune into that. So certain creatures here are actually flying creatures. Some are swimming creatures. Some are just like creatures that billow in caves. Some are creatures that actually dwell in the mud and actually come up from the ground. So there's going to have to be specific mechanics, specific behavior, specific animations for every single one of these creatures, which is a massive task, but it has already started. They all have their own uniqueness, and that will just bring out a lot of life in Skull Island. You know what I mean? Like when you're exploring, you'll see each one of these creatures and it will be a different encounter almost every time. You know what I mean? So these next items here will be just pretty much non-animated entities that are around the island that are just custom to this mod. So there will be the bodies that are scattered around Skull Island, all in different stages of decomp. Some will be just skeletons. Some will have quite a lot of skin on them and be more, to sound like, I don't want to sound gross, but more of a fresh kill, you know what I mean? I want to also add the skeleton bones from Kong's ancestors, I guess the previous large primates that dwelled on Skull Island, you know what I mean? Also, one of the key things that I really want to focus on is the bamboo spikes, as I touched on earlier. Some will have fish on them, some will have skulls, some will have shrunken heads, some will have full-ass bodies that have been strapped to these bamboo spikes, you know what I mean? But the key to the village and a lot of the native structures around the island are these angled bamboo spikes. So here, I want to just show you guys some of the Blockbench models I've been working on. If you're in the Discord and active in the Discord, you've definitely seen these. These were posted actually a minute ago. They were a while ago. And they are, as of right now, just working models that can be animated for trials, but a lot of them have to be kind of tweaked a bit, but the base idea is there. There's no shading in these examples as well. I'm pretty sure shading is turned off at this point. But this will give you a good idea of kind of a baseline as where we are. This is the Pteranodon, and I just put it underwater as a test for you right now, so you can just see how it looks. But the actual what are they called? The whiskers that you might see on catfish. I forget what they're called. I knew at one point, but those will move. These creatures are going to be so animated, and that's what's going to take the most time in this mod. I've reiterated that again and again and again on the Discord, but what's going to take the most time with these creatures, 100% the animating. And I did animating in school, so I know how long it takes. I did it in high school and university, so I know how long it takes to animate she. That's right. This next one is the Scorpiopede, and the textures aren't all there, but the actual shape is, and I've actually done an animation test with this where I can get the legs to move, but it's really creepy. So this is kind of the base for the Scorpiopede, and there will be all different sizes. There will be all different possibly colors. I think we only see one in the film, but in the game they look a lot darker, so I might add like darker variants, lighter variants. This could theoretically work for every model I do. You know what I mean? Minus Kong, where of course there's one model of. But for everything like the Megapedes, the Pteropus Mordax, like everything can have like slighter, lighter tones. You know what I mean? And this one is the start of Kong. And this one actually, oh, there's a heartbreaking story to go with this. I tell you what. I had Kong done, guys, and I was going to reveal it as kind of the first update, and it looked so good. It had so many good textures on it. It was fully animated too, and I don't know what happened to the file. I cannot find it to save my life. So I started over fresh, probably I think last week or so. But yeah, this is the new Kong, and it sucks that the file got lost, but that's what happens in animating and filmmaking, etc., etc. So we will move on with the Something Monstrous Mod Showcase. Update 1. So now we move on to the actual structure part of the mod, or the map, Skull Island. So if you look here, what you're actually looking at is the huts from Skull Island, from the actual native village that we see on screen, and the other 1/2 unseen native villages around the island. Yeah, they exist. Look it up. Each one in different stages of deterioration. And that's kind of a theme we're going with throughout this map. So the idea behind schematics is that you will make a structure, copy it, save it as Temple 1. Then you will actually be able to tell the world to generate these structures randomly in certain areas of your choosing. So instead of placing them manually, which would take forever, we are essentially copying and pasting, saving these as schematics, and importing them into a random spawn. You know what I mean? So they will spawn instantly, but not in every area. It's not like they're going to spawn in the middle of the water, although we could do that if we wanted. What we're going to actually do is we're going to have, like, say, for example, structure 1, structure 2, structure 3, and we'll say, okay, structure 1, 2, and 3 can spawn in the lowlands. Structure 4, 5, and 6 can spawn at the native village. You know what I mean? Etc., etc. So certain ones will only be in certain areas. I'm not going to have like one of the temples or one of the huts, sorry, from the native village just in the middle of the lowlands, you know what I mean? Like, but they will be kind of around the native village, kind of dropping off the cliff as the erosion happens and like the natural volcanic activity of the island sinks it into the ocean to look very natural. So a lot of these structures are also from the game too, the Peter Jackson's official game of the movie, which I mentioned earlier. And some of these are from the Weta workshop behind the scenes, which is Peter Jackson's art team, essentially. They worked on Lord of the Rings and they worked on this one. Not a lot of people know that, but yeah, Weta workshop is Peter Jackson's art crew, essentially. Let's toggle shaders now. These actually look really good. I'm actually streaming this from the Steam Deck, believe it or not. This is a Steam Deck stream right here running at 1080p with shaders. I believe this is the Bloop shader, I'm pretty sure it's called. Bloop, or totally drawing a blank on what other shaders I have right now, guys, but I'm pretty sure this is Bloop shader. And a lot of these new structures that I'm showing you on screen right now, they actually incorporate blocks from the Pale Garden update in Minecraft, which I'm not actually quite sure what update that was, But there's like pale moss, there's pale, you can see like pale hanging vines and stuff. Also, pale oak is amazing for doors. It looks really good for rotted structures, believe it or not. I don't know why. So that's kind of the idea behind all the structures that will be around the island. I still have a long way to go, believe me, but it's coming along. And I do build a lot of these structures on live stream on my Twitch. So if you want to check out the stream as it's happening, you can like send some suggestions my way, be like, oh, I saw this structure, like send it to me on DM and just be like, oh, here's a structure I found. I don't know if you've seen this. I'll be like, oh my God, I haven't seen that. That's so cool. And I'll start making it on live stream and I'll incorporate it into the world. You know what I mean? Like I am more than open to your guys' suggestions. So this next part, you guys should know, I posted a whole video on this. This is the Venture, the SS Venture version 2 with many, many detail upgrades. I tell you what, I took a long time going over this, comparing it with scenes from the actual film, comparing it with behind the scenes footage, actual model footage that they used at Weta and Peter Jackson actually used for the film. And I think I created one of the best representations of the SS Venture in Minecraft. This is, of course, the ship they used to get to and from the island, and somehow they fit Kong on here to get him back to New York, ? But we're not going to go into that right now, lol. So this ship has been detailed with a way more accurate bridge, a way more accurate cargo hold. Every single room is detailed, every single room. The kitchen is actually exactly like you see it in the film. I managed to fit a full-size kitchen to movie scale in here. Full-size ballast room, which you don't actually see in the film, but Tramp Steamers actually had that. I did some research as well, guys, research. I got the proper color lifeboats because they were off last time. I don't know how I missed that. The actual tarp covering the cargo hold is the correct color, and I've added a couple more details that you'll see when you download the map. Now we move on to Buzzin' Frog's trees. Buzzin' Frog is just simply the username of this guy that's helping me out making the trees. And shout out to him. Thank you, bless. These are the trees that have been made with the most current Minecraft blocks, and they just look awesome. There are several different schematics here for me to copy, each in their own different biome. So there could be swamp trees, there could be jungle trees, there could be lowlands like foliage, not necessarily trees in the lowlands because it's pretty plainy. But yes, they do look phenomenal, and there is a second one, a second file he sent me, and I will hopefully be digging into that in the next live stream, so check that out. Okay, guys, so scale. That's right, scale of the island. This is going to be a big topic for this video, guys. So, this is a map in Zero's world map, or min-map, however you want to look at it, but it's the mod from Zero. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like with an X at the front. But anyway, this is the map, okay? So see that little map in the bottom left corner? See that little, tiny Skull Island? Yeah, you know what that is? That is actually the first version of Skull Island that I made and is available for you for download. Link in the description. You can go download that for free. But that is my first version, and this is just showing the scale difference, okay? The one that we are making this time around for the Something Monstrous mod is actually to 1-to-1 scale for Skull Island, what you see in the movie. Now, there was a bunch of challenges, if you will, with the scale of this, because as you know, the island is a lot bigger, actually on paper, than it is when they see it in the film. So the actors actually experiencing it, they're not experiencing it to true scale. They're on a movie set. They're on a film set that has been made in 1-to-3 scale. This 1-to-3 scale is what I've represented in all of the actual settings that you will actually experience from the movie, such as the native village. So the native village will be in 1-to-3 scale, which is technically 1-to-1 scale for what you see in the movie on screen. You know what I'm saying? So although it's not actually 1-to-1 scale, it's 1-to-3, it is 1-to-1 because we're doing what you see on screen. That's our goal. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to show you right now what actually goes into this, okay? Because this is a massive map. This map This Skull Island map, it takes up, I'm pretty sure it's 9 by 9 Minecraft maps. So that means that 9 maps are going up and 9 maps are going over. That's how many maps we have, okay? To fill. Level 3 full level Minecraft maps to fill. That's how big the difference is. And if you look here at World Painter, this is the program I use to actually create the Skull Island. I have all the biomes in place. All the biomes are in place, ready for the trees to be inserted. The yellow are the very high peaks that will have to be sculpted by hand. The gray are kind of lower cliffs, but they're like the highlands, I would say. The light green are the lowlands, and the regular green are the jungles, the regular forest areas. And I have mapped this out to the block, guys. I've mapped that out with heights based off of like research, and I've used AI to assist in some places. Not relying on AI, of course, but I've used it to assist in some areas. It is pretty impressive. It's a lot. It's a big map. It takes about half an hour to an hour to export. And that's without trees, okay? But I sort of know that that can't really do justice. Like, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? What does that actually mean for me when I'm in the world? Well, I'll show you what it means. Let's go into Minecraft. This is the actual wall going into the water. Of course, the wall isn't on this yet, and of course, it's not completely detailed, and as it will be in the final version. But this is the wall that Carl actually sees when they come out of the fog and they actually settle against the rock for the first time. Now, I will have to install several mods in order to get the view distance correct so you can actually see it like you would in the film. If you follow the ridge up, you can see where it would lead to the native village as it would in the film, how it's just out of view, you know what I mean? And just to show you a better representation of the scale of this, I'm just going to fly around the island. Now, some of the terrain, all of the terrain isn't complete at this point. These are just colored markers to mark the different areas of the island. I have custom biome floors made, like I have custom kind of gradients, if you will, created using several blocks specifically for each biome. So when I'm ready to import them, I'll just select, custom gradient and import. Bam, done. That will be all the lowlands. That will be all the highlands. This will be all the coastal cliffs, etc., which is super easy and efficient and nice. Okay, everyone, so that will be this update. That's the first update of the Something Monstrous mod. Done. Expect more coming your way soon. Remember, in the meantime, to check out the Discord. If you haven't, I'll leave a link for everything in the description. Also, consider subscribing to me on Twitch. Again, link in the description. That would help me out a bunch by getting me to affiliate, so I could actually maybe start to get paid to actually do this for a living. That'd be kind of sweet, right? Also, that would help you guys out a bunch because that's where you can receive the latest updates for the Something Monstrous King Kong Minecraft mod. Everything that I do for this mod happens there first. So if you want to be the first one to see something, that's where it's going to happen. All right. I want to thank you all for the continued support throughout the years now. It's been years, guys, and you guys have kept this channel going. I've seen my subscribers grow, and that's all because of you, from your continued support. And I want to thank you so much for all of it. Thank you so much. And with that, we will end this video. That'll be the first update. So until next time, guys, keep building.